Okay, looks like it's going to work.
Coming?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
that'll
do
work.
that too.
I'm going to prop that up just a little bit more. All the cameraman tricks. Hello, Susan. Hi there, Susan.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Okay.
All right, Meryl's there. So I have to hit admit for every one of you. So I'll do that. So I'll stay near the screen for a little bit. Let's see here. So we've got Instagram going. And we've got Zoom going. I'm wearing my sporting club shirt. Cheryl is showing up, so that's nice. That's good. So we've got, you're going to have a couple props. I don't really have props with me today.
It's really different.
Yeah.
Prayer and this whole.
Yeah, it's different.
It's not so.
It's okay. Oh, it's sideways. Okay, but I'm going to be sitting down, so it's going to be okay. My husband's trying to help me with my camera angles because I need all the help I can get.
Okay, let's put down here.
Is that you, Meryl? Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good, Tess.
Good. Good to see you this evening.
Hope you
Good.
have a
So
good
if you're on Instagram, all you're seeing is my legs, but I'll be. Hi there. Hi, David. I'll be in the picture in a minute. So I'm just going to get down on the mat. The sound is a little loud there, Frank. So we're going to get started. I have to keep my eye on the Zoom camera to see if anybody else needs to be admitted. So I don't have my blocks with me, but I have my ball and I've got some other supports, and I'm sure you've got your own supports as well. We're going to have a nice little yin class. So let's all come down into a seated posture. Yeah, just make your way to anything that's comfortable. Good. Oh, I can see you well there. Setting up your mats, getting everything together. We're going to start with a little bit of breathing. So, you know, you always have to be prepared when you go away on vacation because you might have some bad weather. And so you got to have some entertainment backup. So I brought some extra books. The first half of the week was absolutely stunningly beautiful. And last couple of days, not so much. So I've been doing a lot of reading.
Okay, so this.
So I've got various books. I'm always afraid of not having enough books. But this time I've got enough books. So I'll talk to you about that stuff when we get into it. So find yourself arriving into an easy seat. I would say either, you know, cross legs or something like that. Whatever you can sustain for maybe 4 minutes or so. And you're just going to place your hands on your knees. All right, and just have your palms face down. Something about with your palms face down that you feel like you're settling in. You know, it's more of a downward energy than an upward energy right here. Nice. So the book that one of the books that I brought from the library was something I'd heard about recently, very appropriately called, I don't know if you can see that, it's called Breath, of all things, right? So breathing. And it's this, the guy who wrote it is a journalist. It's The New Science of a Lost Art. So it's basically 200 pages of a lot of things that, many things that you as yogis are already aware of. So I'll talk about some of that stuff, but he gets in there into some of the science and some of the research that people are doing right now. So it's interesting. He talks about breath techniques, and he goes back basically 5,000 years, the techniques that the ancients had, even before you know, like the first yogis. So I'm up here on page 219, and it's talking about the first breathing exercise here. Don't you know it's Nadi Shodhana? It's the alternate nostril breathing, which evens out the measure of oxygen and carbon dioxide in your body. Not that it's equal in the lungs, because there's always going to be some more carbon dioxide, but finding the proper ratio. So we're just going to work with that a little bit. You're going to leave your left hand face down on your knee, and then your right hand is going to come up to your face. Palm faces in. The thumb sits on your right nostril, and the ring finger sits on the left nostril. Leave both nostrils open here to start. You're just going to, and let your index and middle finger sit up there on the bridge of your nose. So you're going to inhale through both nostrils, nice and long. Let's do a count of 4, 3, 2, 1, and just pause up there, nice and light and floaty, and then exhale for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, and then draw the breath in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it there, and then release. 3, 2, 1. Both nostrils open. Draw it in. 3, 2, 1. We'll start to go a little slower. Exhale here. 3, 2, 1. Now you're going to press your thumb into the right nostril. Inhale through the left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause here. Switch your fingers. Exhale right side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Breath comes in the right side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Switch your fingers. Exhale left. 3, 2, 1. We're going to make it longer here. Draw it in for 4, 3 on the left side, 2, 1. Now press both fingers into your nose. Pause here for 3, 2, 1. Open the right side. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw it in right side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Both fingers press in. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Open left. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top. Fingers press in. 3, 2, 1. Open right. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Press the fingers in. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Exhale left. 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to invite you to take one more round at your own count. No need to rush. Whenever you finish exhaling out your left nostril, leave your eyes closed and bring your right hand down on your knee. So that's called alternate nostril Nadi Shodhana. Nadi is the energy channels through your body, basically your meridians, and Shodhana is a purification. So it's interesting, you know, I've mentioned before that Natalie Wenzel and I, we've crossed paths a number of times in life, and at one point we had the same yoga teacher who was really big into these breathing exercises, what's called pranayama. And so we would take we were doing a certification with him, and he had all of these exercises that basically you got very buzzy in the head, very kind of loopy and otherworldly, and you'd sit with that feeling. It was a very interesting thing. So we're gonna just slide right into our practice here. Let's do just a slight change here. We're gonna do a butterfly here. So your feet are together. This will be just for a minute. We're gonna do butterflies and then half butterflies. So your feet are together, your knees are wide, and you've got whatever supports you have nearby. I forgot to bring blocks, but you know what? I did bring extra TP. So that's gonna serve me well here. So sometimes you wanna put something underneath the outside of your thighs. Anything to support them there.
Okay.
Nice. So the interesting thing about yin postures, they should be somewhat comfortable, but you're looking to create tension. So this is not a 100% relaxing posture. You're getting to the point where you're feeling some tension in your connective tissue. So you might be feeling this in your inner thighs. You might be feeling it in your lower back. I've heard feedback. Some people feel it on the inner thighs. So we're just having one more minute here. When we come out of yin postures, we don't want to activate the muscle that's just been lengthened and relaxed. So the best way to do that is to keep the back relaxed and to press down in your hands and use your arm strength to push you back up. Coming up to vertical. Let's just float the knees up. The knees come together. Wrap your arms around your knees and drop your forehead down. So this is just a little pause in between. Kind of hit the reset button. And then, here's what we're going to do. So that was a short one, right? What we're going to do is I'm going to give you a choice. And I hope you can see me well. Let's see. Your right leg is going to come out. It's going to stretch out. And your left leg, you have two choices here. You know what? I think I'm going to change the picture on the Zoom, but let me just show you this first. I think you can see me. My left knee is bent, and the heel has folded back towards the outer left hip. That means my inner left thigh is down on the ground.
I can do that.
You don't have to.
So it's like a half hero's posture. Sometimes that bothers someone's knee, and if that's the case for you, you take the foot, sweep it around, and put the left foot into the right thigh. Okay, so if you have the heel back towards your butt, you can lean back. So your hand can go behind you, you can lean back, you can lean on a chair or a sofa or anything you like. If you have your foot into the thigh, then you lean forward, because that's going to target your hamstring there. Now I'm just going to move that Zoom camera to make, I think, it a little better. Let's see here. I think so. All right, cool. Yeah, that's a better image. Okay, good. So we're going to stay with that. We're going to breathe into that. So I say it most every class, but it's worth repeating. We're targeting connective tissue between the hips and the shoulder for the most part. You never want to overstress your knee connectors, all those ligaments in there. They're like very precious material. You don't want to stress them out. So I've got my foot back by my hip, so I'm going to lean back here. You don't have to lean back all the way, but if you can, go for it.
She wants to lean back.
No, not if your foot is forward. If you
Right.
have your knee bent.
Her knees bent. Right.
So we're sitting with that tension. So I'm always looking for takeaways from books. So in this one, if you boil down all of his basic stuff, he spends some time on yoga, but he does a lot of other research into asthma and all of this, and kind of, it's not the most academic of books, I would say. It's very much written by a journalist. So he's getting information here and there. He's got sinus problems himself, so that accounts for his own particular interest. So he's got skin in the game. So he's very interested in all of that. And he talks about how basically, the idea that if somebody gets really upset, they start breathing real fast and they start taking in a lot of oxygen and they can get very lightheaded. You remember that thing where you put a brown bag, you breathe into a brown bag so that you can up the amount of carbon dioxide in your body. And that will start to calm you down. So he's saying that the amount of carbon dioxide that you take in, that you could retain in your body, is going to be a calming agent. And if you've done much yoga breath, you've experienced that. You may not have thought of it that way as oxygen to carbon dioxide ratio, but that's how he puts it in his book. And the instructions that I have gotten and that I teach in my yin practice is that you inhale a normal breath and you stretch out the length of the exhale. So you might inhale for a count of 3 and you exhale out for a count of 5. Therefore, retaining, when you draw your breath in, right, you're drawing in that oxygen and carbon dioxide. When you slow down your breath, you're getting rid of it slower. So you got more of a buildup of carbon dioxide in your body there. So I had always thought of carbon dioxide as somewhat toxic, but you have it in your lungs all the time. Let's start to release that left leg. So take it out, and you're just going to move the leg around, anything that feels like a release. And then no surprise here, we're going to do that on the other side. Now, our right side, left side, we like to think of everything as super symmetrical, but in fact, as you go through life, sometimes we get injuries of one side or the other. So you might not do the same movement. So you might be folding that heel back behind you with your right leg. If your right knee is happy and your right hip is happy. Otherwise, bring the foot forward and into the front thigh. So one or the other. And then the upper body, right? If the heel is bent behind you, you can lean back. If the foot is in front of you, you can lean forward. Good. Okay, so just breathe in your posture here. I'm going to check out my battery situation here. Oh dear. All right, let's hope I make it through class. We had some drama here at the beach. The Wi-Fi cut out a couple hours ago. So the owner had to get the electrician over here. Fortunately, We've got very good. Nice. So Ronnie's here. David's here. Mindy, Marlena. This is so nice. Oh, and Linda's there too. So nice.
There's 7,
Good, good.
9 people. That's great.
Let's see here. Forgot where I was. There we are. So let's do that breathing pattern. We're going to draw the inhale in for 3, and 2, and 1. Find the breath kind of making that turn, turning around, and go to exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Draw the breath in for 3. So you can count it yourself here. I find some people, if they're not used to this, it gets a little agitated because it feels like you're inhibiting the breath a little bit. So you might have to make the count a little bit shorter. Make it suit your body. So however long the inhale is, just make sure the exhale is just a count or 2 longer. So maybe you've read the same kind of studies where, you know, there's these yogis who are fairly well known, and they can do things like at will. They can change their blood pressure just by adjusting their breathing pattern. They can heat up their body by adjusting their breathing pattern. You might have heard that yogis don't count their life so much in years as number of breaths. So if you are designated, predetermined maybe, to live a certain number of breaths in your life, however many hundreds of thousands or millions of breaths, you could theoretically extend your life by slowing down your breathing pattern. And that's exactly what they do. It does have a calming effect. I find that when I'm sort of agitated and not in a very good, not feeling really great about what's going on, maybe I'm standing in line in the airport, it's a very good technique to have in your back pocket. Nobody knows you're doing it. It's completely invisible to everybody else. Even the person standing beside you doesn't know you're doing it. It's a totally portable practice, and you're breathing all the time anyway. So why not just bring that breath in and use it as a tool? We have a few more breaths here. And then you're going to start to lift your spine up. Let's lift that knee up. Bring your feet flat. Take your feet wide and bring your hands wide behind you, palms flat, and let your knees just drop from side to side. So we learn these techniques, you kind of learn it on your yoga mat. But then the ultimate goal is that you've got that, it's portable, it's in your back pocket. So we're going to do a back bend in a second. But before we lie down, I'm going to suggest that maybe you can do the same breathing pattern lying on your back. Now, it's going to feel a little weirder doing it on your back. It's easier doing it sitting up or leaning forward a little bit. It might feel odd when your chest is so open. So you'll see. We're going to do that same extended exhale. You're going to find an object. I forgot my blocks, so I've got my little ball. I'm going to use that. You might have a block. You might have a nice sized book.
Give me another.
Toilet paper roll is just about the right height. And that'll be supportive because it's got that little cord in there. So whatever you want to use is good. I'll demonstrate it here. So you're lying on your back. all the way down on your back. You bend your knees, feet are flat, hips lift up, and that object goes under the tailbone.
Use the little ball for that.
So it's nowhere near your lumbar. It's not where your belt is, it's where your tailbone is. Now I want you to rest your hips on that, really heavy. When you're ready, you'll walk your feet away from you. And that starts to straighten out your legs. And your feet, they're not doing anything. They can be as wide as your mat, and the toes can flop open if they want to. Your arms are relaxed, either by your side, or you can put your palms on your belly, or maybe the arms go wide. So the ultimate goal of learning these breathing techniques is so that you've got them when you need them. When you're stressed out, as I was this afternoon, when my internet went down 2 hours before I was going to be teaching you guys, calling the real estate agent, hoping they could get an electrician over here, I did use it. I did calm myself down. I wanted to get all agitated. I wanted to yell at somebody, you know, the unfairness of all that. But I realized it wasn't such a big deal, and I was a big girl, and I could probably fix that problem. So I slowed down my exhale and called the real estate agent, and it worked. So we're going to do that together here. So let's draw in. Let's do a count of 3 for the inhale and 5 for the exhale, just so you've got notice, okay? So let's draw the breath in here for 3, for 2, for 1. Pause here. You're going to exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale for 3, for 2, for 1. Pause here. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See if you can pick up that timing yourself. I'll stop speaking now. You have 1 more minute in this posture. Let your inhale come to the foreground again. As you start to walk your feet back till they're flat, you'll press into the soles of your feet, and taking your time, you'll take that support out. Give yourself a lot of time here. That's a big change. Then your hips come down to the ground. Just let your feet stay right there. So your spine is adjusting. The lumbar spine needs this kind of stress to keep that really good curve. More drama, low battery. All right. Then you're going to lift one foot, and you'll bring one knee into the chest, the other knee into the chest, and hug your knees. So hold on to your knees. Let your knees press towards the chest, and if it feels good to rock around, you'll do that. Sometimes it feels good to cross the ankles and hold the opposite feet. That doesn't work for everybody, but sometimes that feels nice. So you give your low back a little bit of love there. That's a fairly demanding posture. So you're going to start to give yourself a little rock to the side and then come back up to sit. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to do a little shoulder work because with Yin primarily we're working between the shoulders and the hips. So we're going to do one where you're laying down on your chest. But since this is a camera situation, I'll just show you what your arm is doing. Your arm is basically underneath you. So I'll show you. You're going to come down like a sphinx, okay? That means that your forearms are down.
What she always does, this position.
Not every week.
Your shoulders over your elbow, right? Your right arm snakes behind the left elbow. And those fingers come off the side of the mat. That means your left forearm is underneath you. You're going to bend the left forearm and place your forehead on the back of your hand or the back of your left forearm.
Arm is under your right. Oh, I don't
So
know.
your right arm is pinned underneath you.
Oh, your right arm is
Your right arm is pinned underneath you. A couple of you have a lot of mobility in your shoulders, so you could cross both arms underneath, but I wouldn't normally expect that. Susan, does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't really see you in the picture there, so I can't tell what's happening.
right. Whatever you do, Jess, just do the other one next.
I look forward to getting back into the classroom and being with you in real life. All right. So you're pressing your chest on your arm. You're not lifted up at this point. The chest is all the way down on the ground, and it's pressing down on the upper arm of the right arm.
Like this.
Yeah, that looks much better. And then bend your left elbow and place your forehead on the left forearm so that your head is propped up a little bit. I think that's pretty good.
The opposite. Mm-hmm.
Cheryl, I know that's working for you. Cheryl, I heard from Linda Levy. We've been in contact, and she hopes to be back to class soon.
I'm happy for her.
Yes.
You'll have to be a good role model.
She can't wait to get back to class.
Yeah.
And Barbara, I hope this is working for you on Instagram. Obviously, I can't see you there. I hope I'm doing a good enough job of explaining this. So in all of these yin postures, we use our body weight to get ourselves into the posture. So when you're doing other kinds of exercises, you're working against gravity, you're lifting yourself up, you're standing on one leg and balancing in a tree posture. But when you're doing yin postures, you use the weight of your body to create a big part of the practice, right? It's that force, that downward force. So let's just bring our attention to the breath. Whatever shape you've got, you're going to inhale for 3 and exhale for 5. Okay, get my camera.
That's her phone.
That's
Somebody
not ours.
else's.
It's not big enough. You know, it's just like a regular yoga class. Somebody's phone has to ring. I was very embarrassed last week. I took Natalie Wetzel's class in the studio and my phone rang. I should know better, right?
Does it work?
No, it doesn't work very
Yeah.
well. Here, my phone
Take
is.
this. Take it.
All right. Trying to get my camera propped up. You know, it's not the easiest thing in the world. All right, there we go. So you're going to give yourself another inhale here. And a nice long exhale. And then what you're going to do, you're going to stay down on your chest for the moment. You're going to take your right arm. You're going to lift up just enough to get the right arm out. And then I want you to reach your right arm out to your side. And I want you to rotate the wrist, move the elbow, move your shoulder. So you're going from compression to decompression. You're getting the blood flow back into those joints, right, after a big old stretch. And then we're going to take this posture directly to the other side. So let's go right back into Sphinx. So Sphinx has your elbow underneath your shoulder.
Which one?
Palms are flat. Take your left
Now you're
hand
doing
this
it
time.
going underneath.
Snake it behind the right elbow. And slide it as far off the mat as you can. I know it's awkward. And the arm is going to be up there, sort of right near your collarbones, right below your collarbones. A little harder for women, obviously, than for men. Okay. The right arm comes forward, the elbow bends, and your forehead goes on the back of that forearm. So we're making the weight of the body instrumental to the posture. Right. Let's inhale for 3 and 2 and 1. And you'll exhale for 3 and 2 and 1. Inhale, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, for 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale for 5. You're going to continue with that count. Can you make your body a little heavier? I know it sounds silly, but just see if you can do that. All of your energy just reaching down into the ground. You're in your final minute here. Draw the breath in a little deeper here. All right, so we're starting to come out of the posture. That means you're going to pull that left arm out, move every joint in the arm, move every finger. You're flushing it with fresh blood here, fresh oxygenated blood. This is great for all your joints. We want to stay nimble and flexible, and this is one of the ways we do it. Great. Okay, let's come around to hands and knees and just do a little movement. Cat and cow. So simple stuff, hands and knees, palms are flat, let your belly drop. So you might be feeling your low back here after we did that posture with the object underneath your hips, what we call Bay Bridge. Lift your belly, drop your chin, dial your tailbone down, inhale, and exhale. Now come to neutral and just take your hips from side to side. Very gentle. Good. All right. Let's sit down again. So we're going to do you can have two objects here if you like. Let's see, my cameras are in two different places. So one object is going to go behind my shoulder blades. That will be the lower object. So I'm using a ball. That's like 8 inches. Then I got 2 rolls of toilet paper for my head. Very appropriate. So I'm going to put my head on that. See you guys in Instagram land. I'm not in frame. But Susan, I'm not sure this is so clear. But anyway, I'll do it a little bit sideways. So my hips are definitely on the ground. The first object goes behind my shoulder blades. You're going to lie back on that. And then the higher object goes underneath the back of your skull. That should feel like your chest. It should make your chest feel like it's widening and opening here.
So you use the 2 blocks.
No, I haven't.
So the lower object is underneath your shoulder blades. The higher object is underneath the head. Some of you guys know heart bench very well, so you use 2 blocks and you can challenge yourself as much as you like. Now we're going to draw our attention to the legs. So your legs are probably straight out. That's one way to do this. The other thing is to pull the heels in towards your hip bones and let your knees drop apart. So the feet stay together. But that has to feel good on your hips and your knees. Otherwise, just lengthen the legs out.
Just bring your soles of your feet together.
This is too
So
hard.
Susan, that looks good. Wonderful.
Head bigger, higher.
Barbara, I hope that's working for you. The rest of you guys, I think you're good. I've got my old friend down here. We're sharing the house together this week. And I was telling her, if somebody had told me in January that I was going to be teaching online on 2 different platforms, my response would have been, what's a platform? You don't even know what that is. And now That's what we're doing here. Seems to be working. Let's pay attention to the arms. So you can also broaden the upper chest by taking the elbows out and having your palms open towards the ceiling, what we call goalpost arms, or the arms even behind you. Some people like to hold hand to wrist, any version of that that emphasizes the broadening in the upper chest. So this is really important for us, those of us who've spent a lot of time maybe stooped over because of your, your work, your job. You're going to turn your attention, if you haven't already, to the breath. With that count of 3, inhale. Count of 5, exhale. So this is one of those postures where we're going to take the full 5 minutes. You're halfway through it. See if you can let that breath pattern become completely automatic. Make your next inhale a little deeper here. And then you're going to exhale. Beautiful. Start to walk your feet back. So that means your knees are going to bend. And then very carefully, because of those objects, just roll off to one side. And use your arms to press up into a seated posture here. Take your time. Never any rush here. So you know how when people are getting excited, you know, somebody might say, well, take a deep breath to calm down. And apparently that's not the most useful information. Maybe one should take a normal breath and slow down the exhale. Because in here, he's citing different scientific journals where apparently they've had some success. You know how this is. It's always one study and then another study. But working with people who had panic attacks and asthma, to take a normal breath and then increase the length of the exhale in order to build up the amount of carbon dioxide in the body, to not shoot it out quite so quickly, which is what the breathing technique that you've been doing throughout this practice. So we're going to have a big rotation here because that's what your spine needs right now. So let's see, I'm going to turn around this way, but you can look at me here. This is corkscrew. If you have a nice big fluffy dense pillow near you, you might want to put that behind you. So my feet are wide. My feet are off the mat and my knees are bent. I'm going to flop the knees off to the side. So both knees are going in the same direction. So my knees are going to my left. That means my weight is on my left hip. I'm going to lift my right arm up and I'm going to rotate in that direction. I'm going to look behind me. I'm going to put that hand down on the ground and then move my left hand around a little further. What you're doing here is you're rotating from your hip. You're rotating the spine all the way around. Think of your spine like a spiral staircase, 3 stories high. It's long, long, long. You're going around as far as you can. You're up on your hands here. And then some of you will want to stay here because this feels good. Some of you might want to start to lean forward, or maybe on your forearms, or maybe even lay down on a big fluffy pillow or a bolster. But I think I'm just going to stay here with my elbows locked today. So you can do this any way you like in the upper body. And this is a 2-minute posture. So let's find that breathing pattern again for 3, for 2, and 1. And exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep following the breath. Sometimes that 5 exhale is too long, so you might need to shorten it. Likewise, you can lengthen it. When we practice yoga, we move the breath around the body. There are 2 meanings for the word prana in the yoga practice. Prana means the breath, literally, but it also means the life force. So when you inhale, you're breathing the prana into each, not just your lungs, but into every cell. So here's a new image, here's the thought. Can every cell exhale? Especially if there are some cells there that are giving you a little trouble. You're in your last half minute here. Nice. Now your arm strength is going to lift you up. Your arms are nice and strong. Walk your hands back. Keep your torso kind of relaxed. Bring your weight back onto that left hip. Now your head's over your hips again. And just turn around and let your tailbone come down. This is going to feel like a lot, okay? Oh, yeah. Okay, don't let your feet come together. Keep the feet wide. So rock your knees side to side. That's a nice gentle twist. And then the next time your knees are off to the right, let them go even further. So the weight goes onto that right hip. Your left arm lifts up here. And you keep moving in that direction. You keep turning, turning, turning. Left hand comes down. Right hand goes even further around. Oh boy, I can feel that on my left IT band. How about that? There you are. So we have our 2 minutes here, which means we're not going to have a real long shavasana, but that's okay. So some of these studies, these breathing studies, have been done with people with chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder, COPD, which really impedes breathing. Also with people with anxiety attacks, people with asthma. You know, I'm not making any claims from this stuff. What I'm saying is this is what I'm reading here. And it's simple enough to try out. To extend the length of the exhale, maybe even twice the length of the inhale. Nice thing about these breathing exercises is you could test them out yourself. I think I did my timing badly today. You're going to take another inhale here. Nice long exhale. Beautiful. Very slowly here. Walk your hands back. All right. You're going to rise up here. You're going to rotate around. So come out of that twisted posture. Bring your feet in front of you. So we'll just face each other here. Let's just bring our knees from side to side. Good. So sometimes we're breathing in optimal circumstances and sometimes we're breathing in not so optimal circumstances. And that's why we learn this stuff, to be able to have it as a resource when we need it. All right. So place your hands on your knees, palm down. So we're not really going to have a traditional shavasana today. Let's sit up really tall. Lift your heart and exhale, drop your chin. Inhale. Oh dear, my Instagram people just got cut off. And exhale, drop your chin. Inhale, rise on up, stay on up. Sweep your arms up. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands right down to your heart. It was so lovely being with you all today. Namaste, everybody. I'll be back next week. Maybe, Susan, you'll come to the gym. Maybe you'll be online.
Thank you. Have a good vacation.
Thank you.
Natalie.
So great to see you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy.